Join me this week for questions of geography, ecology, and mortality, and a shock ending that I could not have predicted. Welcome to the fourth leg of Celebrity Race Across the World. So, we've got another checkpoint problem from the off. They can't go through Nicaragua, so the race is paused and all teams fly from Liberia, which worries quite a few people because that's a country in Africa, isn't it? Turns out it's a city in Costa Rica, don't worry. Did they find the most dangerous country in Central America and decide to avoid it? Well, apparently it was filming permissions that were not granted. So are they another anti-BBC government? Because that seems to be all the rage at the moment. So actually starting in Liberia, they're off to Bocas del Toro, Panama, which is 700 kilometres away and a ridiculously gorgeous looking Caribbean archipelago. Costa Rica, turns out, is a smaller nation than Scotland but makes up 5% of the world's biodiversity. And it looks like the saturation on your TV has been turned up to 110%. The colours are popping, especially the lush green rainforests. It's lovely, but it's a very expensive touristy country. The choices for travel are remote adventures or follow the Pacific Ocean for a more direct route, possibly a more expensive route, because it will be particularly touristy there. To me, it's very relatable that Tyler, bless him, sees himself as Indiana Jones. Everyone fancies a jungle adventure in a nice hat, right? Molly and Tyler spend the night in a rustic treehouse. The bed looks nice and the mosquito net is in place, but it does look, pretty rustic. Especially when they notice a massive rip in the side of the net. Tyler is so uncomfortable. He's frightened of all the creepy crawlies. Molly looks delighted though. For some reason, Tyler was only thinking of cute animals in the jungle, and insects have come as a terrible surprise. This man contains multitudes, but this behaviour is the opposite of him pushing that bus like a strong man. His startle response, particularly, is off the chart. He's got issues with control, as he tells us that he witnessed a stabbing when he was just 14. He had to testify as a witness in court and became afraid of going outside. If he's done therapy, it's not enough. Of course he's overprotective and frightened of being vulnerable. You can see how that response can easily become a fear of everything and a desire to stay well within his comfort zone. How he's tricked his brain into doing this adventure, I will never know, but I think he should be very proud of himself. Dylan and Jackie are off through the Highland interiors, despite it not being particularly well connected. But Jackie is out there on the bus getting info and planning it all out like an absolute natural. They end up in the Tortuguero Wetland National Park spotting alligators, and Jackie does her first backpacker hostel. She says, funny, I feel a sense of lightness about me now. I'm not creating so many problems in my own mind. Dylan's keeping an eye on the budget. Jackie is pushing for a safari tour, or whatever you call it when it's the jungle. So we get some nocturnal wanderings with sloths and tree frogs, absolutely iconic animals, just loafing around, hanging around on trees. Dylan proclaims it a magical dream. Okay, so he quickly convinces himself it's not a waste of money anymore. Dylan and Jackie do spend a lot in this leg, particularly on boats, but it looks like an incredible way to move really quickly. 7 hours behind are Harley and Roman, who want paying jobs this leg, despite doing pretty well for money. So they are knitting monkey bridges for howler monkeys to help them move across busy towns. It's very strange. We learned a bit more about Harley here. She blames her busy career directing TV adverts for her single status. She loves being busy and she clearly finds great happiness in her work. The nice monkey man, I think Roman might be trying to set his sister up with a little bit. Gives them a ride, but also gets a flat tyre. This feels like an omen. Perhaps it's best that they don't get together. Their second job this leg is working at a senior community centre in San Jose. I'm not quite sure how difficult the job is because they mainly seem to be chatting and dancing to the old people. Instead of worrying that they can't get to the border direct, Harley decides to keep moving in the right direction, go to another town, see if they can pick up a taxi. She is really good at not panicking, keeping a level head, and keeping their momentum going. Speaking of old people, do you ever think about your parents' mortality? That seems to be quite a dark conversation starter for Anita's piece to camera. This show does get to the heart of familiar relationships, but usually a little bit more subtle than that. She says, no, my parents are invincible. So, of course, we'll get to see the opposite of this on this leg. Anita and Bal need a ride to El Castillo, a nature lodge in the jungle. They get a bit stuck and they have to hitchhike there. Bal feels very emotional about this. He looks worried and tense and tired, and he's worried that he's holding Anita back. He's just having a difficult day. And Anita says that the reality is he is a 68-year-old man. So not only is he feeling extra tired, he's also feeling like a hindrance to his daughter, not being the competent, resourceful adult in the situation and having to rely on Anita instead. But they talk about this openly, and I think that's wonderful that they can talk about these new emotions. It turns out he's not the repressed Yorkshireman that we all thought he was, that maybe he styles himself as. And he's in his absolute element, helping to harvest food in what looks to be a jungle allotment. Back in the bus terminal, however, on their way to the border, there's a little bit of tension because they need to change their dollars for local currency for this particular ticket. Anita straight away makes the decision she'll wait with the bags, and she sends Bal out into the streets. Then goes, hang on a minute, why did I send him? He can't speak really any particular Spanish. But we see him happily recounting his life story to the bank teller. She, however, is fretting and worried that he might be lost, but he makes it back with moments to spare, like the conquering hero, and they manage to get on that bus. The edit at the end is very exciting again, as is usually the case in Race Across the World. It shows 3 teams arriving at a similar time, but Molly and Tyler don't feature in the edit. Oh dear. So they're island hopping via water taxis through Bocas del Toro. It looks exhausting, but they get some incredible drone shots. And now there's an overcomplicated golf buggy mission on purpose there, it seems, to get them lost on the way to the hotel. It's like rally driving towards the Red Book, which is unnecessarily remote. In a shock twist that no one was predicting, even their biggest supporter, Dylan and Jackie come first. Woo, Team Tortoise! Harley and Roman are second and absolutely delighted with that. They are 30 minutes behind first place, and Anita and Bal arrive just 45 minutes behind. This is tight. Molly and Tyler, however, no sign at the end of this episode. Maybe Tyler is finding his peace and communing with nature somewhere, or maybe not. So, my top tips for this leg of the journey. Expensive boat trips means nature spotting and sightseeing at high speed. Costly, but it works very well if you want to take first place. And my top travel tip would be BYON. Bring your own mosquito net. See you back here for the next leg of Celebrity Race Across the World.